Welcome to 1111, which is a segment from my podcast where I talk about a topic for 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Today's topic is actually something a little interesting because I absolutely love like whenever you interact with me or whenever you comment on my videos. I just, although my Instagram comments are off for, obvious reasons, people can be mean. Or sometimes it looks cuter. That's not the point. The point is my YouTube comments are always on and I love reading them. But I sometimes feel like there is a fine line when there's uh um when there's constructive criticism and telling me what to do. I feel like you know I, I do put myself out there, and you can comment whatever you want, but sometimes when you comment something, you don't really necessarily put yourself in the shoes of another person. And no one truly knows like my whole life story and all of my trauma and all of my triggers. Because, sometimes I don't like to share that. I feel like some things are, it's okay to keep things private and not everything needs to be learned about another human being. But me personally, I had a comment recently and it was saying how like I was very stagnant on my growth, how I needed to do A, B, and C, how I needed to like leave, and how I needed to change. And I was struggling with that, like that exact comment. I felt very dragged because that week specifically on that vlog and the week prior, I was struggling very hard with that exact topic, that exact thing that they talked about, and it really kind of made me very upset. It made me very upset. I took a walk and I cleared my head and I talked to some of my buddies about it, and I realized that people don't realize what they say and comment, and I shouldn't. I also talked to my mom and my sister about this, and don't take anything personal, positive or negative. And as long as you know your flow and your energy and your path, you'll be okay, right? Well, I started to digest this. I'm like, why did this trigger me? Like what would like what's going on? And I realized that for me, I had to grow up at such a young age, 16, 15, I feel like teenager prime. I had to mature very fast. I had to be an adult very, very fast. And I kind of got robbed from that experience. So I feel like in a way, now that I'm much older, I can, I learn about boundaries. I've set boundaries. I've, I mean, I don't necessarily owe you an explanation or give you a list of ways that I've grown. Um, but one of the biggest ones for me is religion. I've dealt with religion my whole life, a very toxic, organized religion. And I left that religion, and now that was one of the biggest steps that I could have taken last year. Like I said, I don't owe you an explanation, but if we want to talk about growth, I feel like it is very important for me, at least mental growth. Although, physical growth is also very okay, like gym process, moving to states, moving to an apartment, going to a whole different country, uh, whatever you categorize growth as, sure. But also, not everyone has the privilege to just get up and leave. I feel like it genuinely, I'm sorry, but white people, they don't value culture and family as much as like Latin, or sometimes even, I feel like a lot brown people just value culture and family a lot more. Um, and I even talked to, one of my good friends. We went on a hike and we discussed this topic, how family and culture is so much different in like Western and like Mexico. And I feel like Western culture is so like leave your parents, get out, move. Ooh, do you see my white hair? Anyway, say it's so much like get out, leave, see your parents, whatever. And sure, if you like that, go for it. I'm absolutely no one to judge. At a certain point in my life, I was very jealous of that. And I was like, I wish I can do that. And then I realized that it's such a big privilege to still be able to live with your parents. And I'm like, I'm in absolutely zero rush to move out. Because here's the thing. I've I have I feel like no one, well, absolutely no one is gonna love you the way your mom loves you, right? I have this form of connection with my mother that she's old, and oh, okay, I don't know why I'm explaining you this stuff, but I'm just in no rush to move out, okay? And I would just like, for everyone also to not feel like, don't allow people to rush your process. Don't allow yourself to compare yourself to how other people are growing and evolving, because you never know what's going on mentally. You never know what they've done mentally to be able to move out, or you never even know what help they've received to leave and get out. I think it's also something that gets taken, for granted, is the help that your parents can give you by living at home. I feel like it's, I'm 18, I'm gonna leave, and then you're gone, and then now you leave, sorry, you leave states, you move countries, whatever it is, and sure, you're probably free, you're probably not under your parents' roof, but now you have all of this extra stress, and you're like, I feel like moving to a different country and moving houses or apartments, whatever it is, that's not gonna solve your issues, Gorge. The way that I see it is, if not everyone has this privilege, and the way that, like, that comment was like, do this, do this, do that, like move countries, go to a different, move to go whatever. It was just like A, B, and C, right? And I'm like, it makes you feel like these are the only options that I have growing up that to show growth to you. Absolutely not. I feel like we're all in a divine flow, and that's how I replied. We're all in a divine flow. I'll grow when I grow, and I don't necessarily need to prove anything to anyone, but I do put myself out there, and I do understand how sometimes my videos can get a little bit repetitive. But if you don't have to watch it, like, you genuinely do not need to watch my videos if you feel like I'm not growing to what you think is growth. Gorge, there's so many other more YouTubers to watch. I'm showing you my slow burn, my slow process. I'm healing my inner child. You never know what type of trauma people went through that they are now healing themselves. And sure, maybe moving out can probably solve some issues for me. Maybe. But you need to, I feel like sometimes you cannot do decisions so impulsively like that, because once you do, you will not have you do not know if you're going to have the help that you need. And sure, you figure stuff out and you go for it. But why would I suffer? Why will I want to live paycheck to paycheck? Why will I want to have like all of these extra issues just because I wanted to move out and prove something to YouTube? Girl, big girl, big girl. Like, no, absolutely not. Do not rush me. Do not rush my growth. Do not rush my productivity. Do not rush how I change, how I evolve. We're all in a divine flow. And honestly, this week has been like one of the best weeks for my mental health. This full moon just really shifted my whole perspective on a lot of things. And I felt so much lighter and so much better. And, I just want to tell you, like, do not allow anyone to tell you that you need to rush your process, that you need to rush how you're growing, that you need to rush how you do stuff, that you need to rush anything. No, you're in a divine flow and you move when you move. Do not rush anything. Relationships, do not rush your mental health, do not rush, your creative outlets. Do not rush anything. You'll get there when you get there. Because if you honestly rush things, I feel like, obviously some things are meant to, let's do this, let's do that, and let's get to the point, right? I agree. I'm totally on board with you. But when you comment on other people's lives, or when you compare yourself to other people, how they're growing, you don't know what they're going through mentally. So I just want to say that, don't rush me. I grow when I grow, and I evolve when I evolve. If you would have told me this 2 weeks ago, I would have broken down horribly. I would have just been extremely emotional and just sad. Although I feel like giving that power to people is just so, unnecessary, and like, they're not witches. They can't make you feel things. But words are power, and it's very important to choose wisely what you say. And I understand, like, they were coming from a very lovely, respectful place, but don't tell me what to do, especially if you've never been in my head or in my mental space. I've actually have never been happier. I think it's like sometimes when people find the solution to things that works for them, they want to share that solution that works for them. And sure, girl, go for it. Maybe that does help a lot of people. But I move differently, and I'm on a divine flow. You're in a divine flow. We're all on a divine flow, and you should not compare yourself. And, if you're going to give advice, you should check on their mental health first. You know what I mean? But anyways, love you, buddy. Please be safe. Bye.